everything, but she just doesn't take his shit. You know, he just like gives it right back to him.
They actually kind of look similar, but
they do kind of look similar.
But the characters are similar.
I think so.
Yeah.
Is she the actress who's tall and she's black and or
and she has curly hair.
She's like Alan Tudyk's wife in the show.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. I vaguely know stuff about Firefly. I don't know it.
But yeah, that's like the kind of character that I love. Like, just like, you know, knows what to do and like doesn't like go follow by all these rules, but like gets the job done when it's called for. And you can tell that's what this character is going to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. Okay. Final scene of our episode. Lieutenant Rizzo appears to Narek as a hologram on the artifact. This is where he makes the comment about her rounded ears, so she's definitely been surgically altered. She basically tells him, you need to figure everything out with Soji, otherwise I'm going to come in here and do it my way, which we all know her way usually ends in death, apparently. So he's employing...
Well, sometimes accidentally.
Accidental, true, fair enough.
Death.
He's employing more sort of sensual techniques to see if he can get the answer out of her. He's
trying to implore the pillow talk instead of instead of like hard interrogation.
Exactly. Yeah, he's trying to basically play on her apparent need to fix broken things, to present himself as a broken thing that she will want to take care of and fix. She does ask him if he's found the nest where the other synths are. So I did see some talk online from people who felt like the nest was definitely like a physical place where there are a bunch of synthetic life forms, and that if that's the case, if that's true, that they're all kind of living someplace, do you guys think like Bruce Maddox is there? I kind of feel like he would just be chilling with all these androids he created.
I mean, that's a real good question. Like, are we actually going to see Bruce Maddox? Like, that's a very good question. Or is he going to be like a very similar, like Dr. Soong, like a legend that built this thing, you know, and then, you know, just went off world somewhere and did his thing. So you always refer to this guy as the father of these things, but you don't actually get to see him.
I hope that we do see Bruce Maddox. I'm pretty, not that all of my predictions have been accurate so far, but I think we will see Bruce Maddox this season. I really do.
I just think it's strange that they, you know, like it almost seems like we already knew all the cameos that we're going to see. You know what I mean? Like they showed them. I think it would be awesome if they still had a couple up their sleeves. I really do, because to me, I don't, call me, you know, lame or whatever, but I love that stuff, to be surprised, which never happens anymore.
I know.
It's always but it's like so awesome to like see somebody on the screen that you did not expect, and I think, you know, the original actor, I mean, I don't even know if he's recognizable anymore, because you see him for one episode and then, you know, 20 years goes by. But I still think that would be cool, and I think we would have heard about that by now. That's just me. But I don't know how they're going to get away from not actually showing him.
It's interesting to me because I did not know that Bruce Maddox would have. I mean, I knew he would be mentioned for sure, like in the show because of Data, but I didn't know he would be such a big part of this show. I mean, he's been name dropped a bunch of times in just 2 episodes.
Absolutely,
I feel like they're bringing him up so much for a reason beyond just, oh, remember that guy from that one episode of TNG? No, I think we're really going to see him.
They want you to know why the androids were so creepy. That's it. That's just
he was a creeper in that episode, that's for sure.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
can you imagine those androids just like standing like right next to somebody?
Staring at them till they look at you.
Yeah.
I just think that even without showing him, and then ending up at this nest or whatever, where all these other artificial life forms are presumably, they would all be referring to him as their creator and father.
Right.
So, like I said, just like Dr. Sung, like you heard until you saw him on that one episode, but like it was this legend of like this master creator that created these things, which, like I said, that's what they're building up this Bruce Maddox to be, the guy that carried on Dr. Sung's work, essentially.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, that's our episode, you guys. The only other thing I wanted to bring up, we did talk about it briefly earlier. In the show, Narek wears an earring on his right ear. I took a screenshot and I made it as big as I could make it, so you could still see it. He said it's this earring that he wears, and on it, it looks to be either the face of those androids that F8 is, or Steven brought up it could be a skull even. Which if he's part of the Zhat Vash and their whole thing is like that's another name for the dead because only the dead can keep secrets, that makes a lot of sense. So I mean,
that seems like a far way to go to hide like insignia. Like obviously it's a secret organization and you're trying to make it not obvious, but then why are you adding symbols to something? You know what I mean?
Because they do it on everything. Oh, and the pig is back. Sorry. Of course. The pig is back, and when I start talking, she starts squeezing. No, but they do that on everything. Like, haven't you seen Captain America? Like, Red Skull's got his...
Oh, that's true. The Hydra
thing all over everything. Why do they think... It just... Anyway, I mean
that's the only thing that I could think of is that it's like not necessarily a skull, but just like a representation of the dead, which is the representation of the organization he's a part of.
Right. I mean, he could easily, if anyone ever asked him about it, he could just always say like, "Oh, it's a family heirloom. Oh, it's been in my family forever. Oh, I just picked this up in some galaxy. It was interesting to me." I mean, I do think it's interesting that he wears this earring. It's got this insignia or face on it. I feel like he's part of the Zhat Vash. I mean, do you guys agree? Do you think he's part of the secret organization?
Yes.
Oh, he definitely is.
Okay.
Yes. And I definitely like Steven's explanation about how, it's probably like a skull kind of thing, the dead and all that kind of stuff, how it fits in with all that. I really like that too.
I think that it's like all but confirmed when she said, "Oh, you're going to need clearance to get in here," and he's like, "No, I'm not." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't think that means that he is a high-ranking person. It's just that he doesn't even answer to those people that she's referring to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
And we've certainly seen in other episodes where they featured the Tal Shiar that the Tal Shiar don't answer to anybody either.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, there was an episode of TNG where Counselor Troy was altered to look like a Romulan, and she was a member of the Tal Shiar, and she basically said, we don't answer to anybody, because that's really what it is, that they don't answer to anybody. They're like above the government. I definitely think he's involved, even if he ends up just being sort of like an under member or like a minion, and he's the guy doing the dirty work. He's definitely part of the Zhat Vash.
But didn't Commodore O even say that you're in charge of this operation?
Well, she said that she told Lieutenant Rizzo that she was in charge of the operation to get Dodge. And
I thought she mentioned that I'm leaving it up to you that he doesn't screw up, meaning that she's in charge of her own brother.
Yes. She basically placed her over her brother, saying, keep him in line, make sure he does what he's supposed to do. You're basically. Yeah, you are in charge.
That's that confirms that he's at least some kind of puppet member of whatever organization or plan that they have, right?
I think that yes. I think you could say that he's maybe not way up there, but he's he must answer to somebody because he obviously has to answer to his sister, who seems to answer to Commodore O. So he's not like, he's not like top guy,
right? Sure.
But he is involved. So I think that that's a reasonable thing that we could say. Wow, that was an episode. That was an episode, you guys. But we did it. We got through it. All that exposition.
And all the pig noises. Like, we got through all the pig
noises.
Yes, and I'm like muting myself and yelling at her. I'm like, stop it, and trying to take it from her. And then she looks like she's going to bark. And then it's like, I got to give it back to her.
Okay.
No, I was going to ask at one point, like when we were talking about the last scene where Rizzo shows up, did you guys talk about how that was creepy because I had to take off my headphones and deal with the dog?
Oh no, I'm glad you reminded me. I forgot
because
to
it was
bring it up.
like kind of like flowers in the attic situation or something. I don't know.
It was a little weird. So when Rizzo shows up and she's talking to her brother, I didn't even imagine that was her brother until she called him baby brother. I definitely got the Cruel Intentions vibe here. Of like, do you want to sleep with your brother? It's weird. Flowers in the Attic, also a deep cut. Excellent choice.
Yes,
and
Crimson Peak. Spoilers if anybody's seen it.
Oh wow.
I mean, I gotta throw in Tom Hiddleston. Sorry.
Yeah. Also, I did read a theory online, and we talked a little bit about it before we started recording. That the dead brother, quote unquote dead brother, that Narek mentions in episode 1, that he said that we had a brother, he was lost. People online, fans online, are saying that she's the dead brother. Now, whether you take that to mean that she altered herself so much that she changed sex to a woman, to female, or if you metaphorically say we lost our brother. Or maybe there was a third sibling. I don't know. But there are people who are guessing that she is the quote-unquote dead brother referenced in episode 1.
I mean, you got to...
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
That's what I was going to say.
You got to know that, like, if she's passing off as a human and an officer in a Starfleet, that she's going to had to have some really, really major reconstructive surgery, right? Because she's going to have to go through transporters and bioscanners.
Yeah.
So those organs got to match, and you know what I mean? So it's not impossible that they went ahead and did a little snippy and took care of something else. It's not impossible.
I was thinking how in Discovery there was a whole storyline of what they did. If you haven't watched Discovery, you might want to skip ahead a minute here too. In Discovery, there's a whole storyline of a clone who they altered to make him look human, to the point that they compressed his organs, they grafted human DNA onto him, and they physically changed him into a human so that when he went through transporters and bioscanners, he didn't read as Klingon, he read as human, but he was a Klingon. And it was pretty, it was like a pretty new kind of a thing that I've never seen that done before in Star Trek. So, I mean, if that was done in Discovery, which takes place long before Picard, I mean, could something similar have happened here? Absolutely. They could have done something very drastic.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy. See, I haven't watched Discovery yet, but that's like a really crazy thing for them to put in so early in the timeline. But, hey.
But, wow. So, yeah, lots of theories, you guys. Some of our theories already have been disproved, or at least seem to be disproved. I can't wait for episode 3, where we're going to learn more about this character, Raffi. I think we're also going to meet some other members of the crew that will be joining Picard.
Yeah, we're going to meet Chris, I think.
Yeah. Yes. I think that's who we're meeting next.
Yeah, because she was talking about a pilot or whatever, and that was...
Yes.
That's him.
Yeah. And I believe that he's ex-Star, this character.
Okay.
So that should be interesting.
Who's the next TGN character do you think we see? I keep waiting for them to show up, and I just don't know.
I mean, we know we're getting. I know. I mean, we know we're getting Riker and Troy in this episode, in this season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how far in till we see them. I mean, I don't know if we'll see them first, or 7 of 9 first,
or Hugh first.
Right. I mean, just peeking ahead at the IMDb page for episode 3, Hugh is listed in that episode. So, unless they're completely throwing us off or completely